welcome to some more Star Citizen. Alien Week starts in just a couple of days. We've got a new Alpha 4.2 PTU patch. It looks like this is getting pretty close to a release candidate, and CIG appear to be making this live next week. We also have CIG's This Week in Star Citizen post. I also want to pose a question, which we'll come to at the end of the video. What if CIG are actually going to sell the ICTs, just not all versions of it? And I want to talk about that in a bit. This week in Star Citizen. Last week was full of fresh updates. We released our bi-weekly roadmap update, offering a closer look at our progress and goals for Alpha 4.2.0, alongside the main monthly report, packed with valuable insights directly from our development teams. On the video front, a new episode of Inside Star Citizen aired, highlighting some of the thrilling content headed your way in 4.2. We also dropped the latest patch watch, shining a light on upcoming fixes and improvements that may not appear on the public roadmap, but are worth being on your radar. So I've got videos of all of that. Go check those out on the channel if you are interested. With Alpha 4.2 Stormbreaker nearing the finish line and ready to bring the thunder next week, we're turning up the heat with Alien Week on Thursday. With that statement in mind, looks like live next week, but we've got Alien Week this Thursday. Join our developers Rich Taulier, lead game designer, Mattia Monticelli, game designer, and Yogi Clap, principal vehicle programmer, as they answer your questions about vehicle flight and balance from Spectrum through a new episode of Star Citizen Live. It's that time of year again. I can speak Xi'an freely. Oh, Maya, 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 go, go, go. Celebrate the rich cultures and questionable cuisine of our galactic neighbours during Alien Week 2955 and take part in the activities with your family or solely. Ever wonder what happens when Tavaran elegance collides with human engineering? This week's Behind the Ships peels back the curtain on a brand new variant that reimagines a familiar silhouette with a bold new purpose. You'll have to tune in to see what's emerging from the shadows. We know that this is likely, I've talked about this a few times, this is likely going to be a Prowler variant. CIG have been teasing that for a couple of weeks as well now. Whether you're hosting a pint in Montreal or Frankfurt or raising a glass in Austin or Manchester, it's time to meet your fellow citizens face to face. The International Bar Citizen World Tour lands this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, June 14th and 15th. If you can't attend, keep an eye on our Instagram to experience the events like you were there. See you soon. So I'm gonna try to get to the one in Manchester. I say try and go, it's because I recently threw my back out and it's fine now, but I'm just cautious about it. And I was playing board games with Zin over the weekend and she had a cold, so what if a cold turns up? And yeah, for Alien Week, Prowler variant, that seems reasonable. Also expect them to sell loads of alien ships and new skins. But also the week after, with 4.2 going live, you're likely going to have another little mini sale with that patch. Talking about that patch, there was a new PTU build that went live last night or early this morning. Some new changes and tweaks here. Stormbreaker and ASD location polish. They made some tweaks to the Valakar egg health and the way it looks and it states there, and the shuttle navigation spline. They polished that further. There were server performance optimizations, which is great. That's what I want to see. Further density manager updates to help with weapons and other NPCs and dropped items not getting cleaned up over time. Further rain tweaks, balancing of near and far effects so the camera blur issue looks less skittish. Also reduced draw distance and overall count of the splat particles because it was relatively performance intensive. There are a load of bug fixes for various ships and vehicles as well. Also, freight elevators, locations, creatures, tons of bug fixes for Stormbreaker. They fixed some annoying quantum travel issues and general ship movement. Radiation should be working more consistently as well now. The game feels a lot more performant as well, although I have been doing a load of stuff with my CPU recently, and you'll find out why soon, and updating my motherboard and BIOS and stuff like that, so it could actually be partly to do with that. I would also say that it looks like it's more stable as well, at least from what I can tell from what other people are saying, because I've only had like 2 or 3 crashes through the entire Evocardium PTU phase this time around, so this feels like it's getting quite close to a release candidate, 4.2, and it's good to remember that there is still an incoming feature, or at least a addition to one of the areas, the Lazarus facilities on Pyro 1. There are going to be freight elevators there that are usable, that allow you to send loot from that area to the transport hub. So basically some one-way freight elevators so that you can get the loot out and then load it onto your ship. And that's one of the ways you're going to be able to get the ICT-RAD and a load of the really cool components there. There appears to be a load of high-spec loot in those ASD facilities, and also all of the cool Valakar materials that you can farm if you want to fight that boss. It's also worth mentioning CIG will likely be tweaking the economy, getting as many fixes as they can in, and most importantly, getting performance up. Servers and clients can really take a battering in some locations. And we don't know how the balance for the Valakar boss fight is actually going to fall either, because originally they had it sort of balanced for 4 players, then they went, well, actually, let's balance it for a few more, although you can do it with less, so that it feels like a more epic fight. And they're sort of tweaking the mobs around that area as well, because at one point there was just Copians everywhere and they'd mob you, and now there's just a mix of enemies. They've made some other interesting changes as well, with not being able to set your spawn point at the location inside the facility anymore, but there are now little locations around the main facility which you can. Anyway, final thought for the day, and I'll be discussing this with Zin in our podcast as well, but CIG's Kahaku said that basically they're not planning to sell the ICT for real money, and later in a post he said he would fight for it not to be sold on the website, just at Wicklow's basically. But what if he was referring to one of the variants rather than the whole ICT series?
You can find new battle vehicles that can only be earned in game.
So I did see the other thing I'm referring to. It wasn't on a post, it was in Salty Mike's chat. Kahaku said that he would be fighting for it not to be sold and at Wicklow's only to purchase. But the patch notes for 4.2 make a distinctive, definitive difference between the Argo Atlas ICT, the ICT Geo, and the ICT RAD, and the RAD is the version found at Stormbreaker. So it could be that CIG are only going to have the RAD version non-viable. Really interested to know what you think. Boom! That's it for your updates today. Are you excited for Alpha 4.2? Is there an alien ship that you want to pick up? If there is a variant of the Prowler going on sale, is that something that you are interested in, or don't you like that typically alien ships are a bit more expensive? You don't like the alien tax. You're going to be getting it in game when it sort of turns up in about 3 months' time to be purchasable in game shops. Do you want the ICT series of those Titan combat suits to be sold for real money? Or do you hate the idea, or do you want them both immediately available in shops and for real money? I'm sort of curious on your thoughts on that as well. I'm super excited for 4.2 and Stormbreaker. Really looking forward to it going live. Looks like that's next week. Hope to see some of you, assuming that I do turn up, in the Manchester Bar Citizen, or at the Manchester Bar Citizen this weekend. But whatever your thoughts or questions are, chuck them down below. And something else that you should do down below is click on the links to NordVPN, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. I need a VPN. Well, just click that link, and then you get a big discount on NordVPN, the best darn VPN that you'll probably ever use. And why would you want one? Well, because of better security, privacy, and accessibility of the interwebs. I think a VPN is essential for day-to-day internet security and accessibility. Thanks very much for watching. If you would like to further support the channel, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that sort of good stuff. We've got join buttons under videos that help support the channel as well. You get some exclusive videos that are going out now. They've got Patreon, which basically does the same. We make daily Star Citizen content here, and that's partly due to the people that go the extra mile and help out the channel. I hope you have a fantastic May, a fantastic Fleet Week, and a great Star Citizen Alpha 4.1.1 experience.